LMPD is hiring more police recruits. Hello and welcome to this episode of the 502 Report. I'm Nikki Lechniak. This year's recruit class has been bumped up to 150, the highest in LMPD's history. And there are more changes in store for the department as well. In an effort to reduce violent crime in the city,
1239 Southwick on investigation.
LMPD is making some significant changes.
I believe that this reorganization will allow us to more efficiently and effectively address problems in our community.
A new 20-person full-time SWAT team will allow officers to deploy quickly during volatile situations.
Through this approach, have a full-time team that will be able to respond to the vast majority of these high-risk warrants, these high-risk situations, these barricades, and be able to, we hope, resolve these situations with the least amount of force necessary. It will provide for a safer response, and we believe will allow us to get in and out of these high-risk situations with minimal injuries.
Before this change, officers had to leave their regular duties to help assist in crisis situations on an as-needed basis. At the same time, LMPD will create a separate 10-person community services division to build relationships with citizens.
That will be focusing its efforts on building trust and legitimacy in our most troubled and most challenging neighborhoods, to not only help address immediate problems, but to focus in on some of those underlying root causes of crime that if we leave them unchanged, those neighborhoods will continue to see problems.
LMPD is also looking into purchasing a gunshot detection system for high-crime areas. Within a minute, the system pinpoints the location of an outdoor gunshot. This will allow officers to get to the scene faster, possibly collecting better ballistic evidence and even helping victims. We see acts of violence almost every day. While some of us experience it through the news, others live it firsthand.
I am concerned about all the violence and everything going on in the world right now, and especially in Louisville.
With education, we have drug violence, we have all kinds of things that contribute to violence in our community. But the only way we're going to solve any of them is all of us working together. And that's really what this is about today.
I want to promote peace and compassion, and so I'm just starting to kind of learn how.
We all got to realize we are imperfect people on an imperfect journey, but we are on it together.
Piece by piece, attendees wrote on their tiles their heroes and compassion icons.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Made positive changes in America, and he's one of Mommy's heroes.
Creating space for everybody to come together as a community to do something.
I don't want to wait till somebody that I just know to happen to before I do anything.
If having yet another event is really going to make a difference, is it going to matter? It is going to matter if we can bring people in, make them understand that this is a topic that matters in our community, let people know that there is something that they can do about it if we all work together.
Staff at the Office of Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods has been working to address youth violence for the last few years, with assistance from this agency.
When one member of a community feels unsafe or has, had something bad happen to it, does impact all of our community members.
There's a lot of moments that we could intervene from 10 years old all the way up to 25. We can intervene. There's things in pivotal moments that we miss at times. So investing now, investing early in our young people so that they don't have those outcomes in the future.
Working with communities to understand the issue of youth violence, focusing on data, and then using that data to make decisions about what should some of these programs and services be.
AIR brings us training and technical assistance. How do we collaborate? How do we do community engagement? And then the big question that we always have is, so how do we know what's working, right? That's one of the biggest things that they help us with is our evaluation of our processes and programs.
The blending together of so many different youth violence initiatives under this one Love Louisville umbrella. It's pretty impressive, actually.
All of the staff at the Office of Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods is passionate about the work they do, including this young Louisvillian who's making quite an impression.
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, right here up east, not out east, not Prospect, from right here. Caldwell Street, this is Ballard Park. It's my great-grandmother's house, my Uncle Ronnie's house, across the street. It's the East End. That's where I come from. My great-grandmother and my mother, told me don't be ashamed to speak your mind as long as it's in respect. I'm speaking to people, not at people. How you doing, Miss Lady? Good. What's your name? Nia. Oh, okay. Nice to meet you. You look real familiar, Nia. Have I seen you somewhere? Feel free to come on down. All right, nice to meet you, Cody. That's probably what it is. I've seen you somewhere playing ball. My name is Brandon Bailey, working in the mayor's office. And if you'd like to join us and talk about violence, we'll be down here for the next 45 minutes or so if y'all interested. How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful, good to see you. Champagne, when was the last time you got a compliment? Did it make you feel good? Did it make you smile? Well, by golly, there you go. So that's One Love Louisville in a nutshell.
Well, it's been really great to follow Brandon and how he's grown in his job. He started about 18 months ago, and of course he hadn't worked for Metro government before, so anybody coming in, it's always something new. But what I always talk to him about at the beginning is kind of this awesome opportunity he has to make our city a better place. And he was always ready to kind of plug in and do it in his own authentic way. That's what I really admire about Brandon. He brings his life experience, his educational experience, his master's degree into the challenges and opportunities that we face as a community right now.
I want to tell y'all, thank y'all for being here. Thank you to everyone for being here. And what the purpose of this conversation is about today is to figure out what we can do from the standpoint of local government and the Office for Safe and Healthy Neighborhood.
And being one of the younger members of our team, his ability to understand more what our youth are going through is really valuable, not just for him as a translator, if you will, but for his ability to relate to the kids. And that helps us as well. I mean, some of us are a little bit older now and we think we kind of get it, but it helps us a lot when you have somebody closer to that generation.
His handle suspect.
I mean, regardless of where anybody comes from, has to realize the potential they have to go for their dream. For some people, it's going to be easier to get to a dream because they got resources, they got a belief system, they have people that believe in them, they have a family system, you know, everything's peachy. But for other people who don't have that, I would just want them to know that you really can do it. And whatever that it is, you just have to have it in your mind that you're going to achieve it one day. When I was playing basketball on these courts all the time, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a ball player. You know, I'd be out here imitating DeJuan Wheat and Marcus Maben and I'd say Bailey for three, Bailey at the free throw line. Like, I always talk myself into it. And I'm talking days where it was 105 degrees outside, thunderstorms, I'll literally be out here. So whatever it is, if you somebody like me and you got the world stacked against you, just chip away a little bit at a time and be committed to chipping away at it. If we had resources invested in people that's actually from here that know the problems here because they live next door to them or they live with those problems, then a lot of that stuff can go away with just one generation.
He sees his role as a young African-American male as heightened importance because a lot of the work that we're doing in the city is for everybody to achieve, but we oftentimes focus what he's working on, Office for Safe and Healthy Neighborhood, on young men and boys of color. So he's a tremendous example of somebody that says, I had a loving role model in my life before. I was told I could be whatever I wanted to be. And then he put in the hard work to do that, in the classroom in particular, getting all the accreditations that he has. And now he's happy to go forth and show folks that, hey, this can be done.
But because I'm from where I'm from, zip code 40203, and everybody I went to school with were on free lunch programs, and a lot of people I went to school with are no longer here for a lot of different reasons. Because where I'm at now, people look at me and they say, oh, you're successful. But this ain't it. I don't want to settle for me, for my dreams.
It's a tremendous example of what happens when you set a goal. You got some structure around you, you got some love around you as well, and you do the hard work. So I'm really optimistic about Brandon's future.
I mean, but you gotta get up and go. You have to get away from home, I believe, to truly appreciate your roots. But I'm gonna come back too. You know, I'm going other places, but I'm gonna come back. You know, city needs that.
It's been almost 10 years since Louisville passed the smoke-free law. In that time, e-cigarettes and hookah have become much more popular. Should they be regulated like cigarettes and other tobacco products? Louisville Metro government is opening up the conversation, starting with this educational forum.
It was a lot of people here. It was double than what I thought.
About 125 people turned out for the forum.
The use of e-cigarettes has exploded, and that not only that there is one type or two types of e-cigarettes, but there's a whole plethora of e-cigarettes that you can now get.
Speakers presented a variety of information on the safety of these products,
So all the red dots, this is Old Louisville, this is Bardstown Road.
including how it can be difficult to study them with thousands of e-cigarettes on the market.
We see that what the research that we do with one particular product, within a few months that becomes obsolete.
Adding e-cigarettes and hookah to the current law would prevent people from using them indoors, in public spaces and workplaces.
It's not about the smoker, it's not about the e-cigarette user, it's actually about the smoke and the e-cigarette aerosol that's produced from using those e-cigarettes. And it's about protecting patrons and workers in the workplace so that they don't have to breathe those chemicals.
One e-cigarette business owner says he feels good that he's helping people.
When a 70-year-old woman comes in who hasn't smoked a cigarette in a week, and she had smoked cigarettes for 50 years straight, it changes everything.
Are they safer than smokers? Sure. Our focus is more on the non-users of the devices and what the impacts are on indoor air quality.
While e-cigarettes may help some people quit smoking, the vapor still contains nicotine and small particles that may affect people close by.
Formaldehyde can cause cancer. Nicotine, we know it's addictive. It affects fetal development, and it can contribute to heart and lung disease and cancer.
Do I think it's safe? Me, an importer, a distributor, an exporter, a manufacturer, a retailer, I'm telling you it's not safe. Absolutely not. Is it safer than a cigarette? Hell yes.
If it has an impact on our health, it might have an impact on the health of our children. For those who are pregnant, it could be an issue for people in the future.
They have the freedom, even within a confined space, to do as they wish, but there should also be restrictions in place that inhibit the use of things that could potentially damage others around them.
If you're interested in sharing your views, you have until October 28th. Go to surveymonkey.com/R/DB832NT or mail your comments to the Health Department at 400 East Gray Street, Louisville, Kentucky 40202.
They have an idea that Southwick, the community center, is not positive. But it's great things that come out of the community centers. It's great kids that come out of the community center.
Deirdre Polk, known as Miss Dee Dee to the kids who come to Southwick Community Center, has set out to change history by focusing on the future.
62! Right now, in this world, it's very important that our kids get healthy. With the positive things that they put in their body leaves a positive mind. And when we can reach that mind, we can get so many ideas from our kids.
Dee Dee works with young people, helping develop more than just healthy diets through programs like the Summer Day Camp.
In my camp, I teach kids to be mentors, to be leaders. So when they go out in the community because they learn something positive, I want them to spread the word. We have kids that ride bicycles and teach other kids how to ride because they were taught to ride. It builds up their confidence. It makes them feel that they can do something for somebody else.
But can something as simple as riding a bike change the life of a young person? One story comes to mind.
Today we're celebrating Muhammad Ali. The bike story was he had this bike and it got stolen once.
He reported it to the police, and the police officer was a boxing coach.
So he had to train to box, and that's when his story began.
To them, Muhammad Ali is a god. To them, they want to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Schwinn Bicycle Company donated 100 new bikes to students who completed the Bike Sense class. If the story of one stolen bike has the potential to change the world, how could 100 bikes shape the future?
Southwick Summer Day Camp gave an educational class. The course helps the kids to be safe on the streets with their bicycles.
We've been here for a couple of years to show people what bike sense is, because people get hurt by bikes a lot.
Clarissa Cantler, 57.
On Saturday the 17th, the young people of Southwick Summer Camp left with much more than a bike.
I knew the basics and all of that, but not the other stuff. So I had some friends and I had to tell them, because they didn't know what to do at first, so I helped them out.
And I'm going to tell them always wear a helmet, because I used to never wear a helmet. Never.
And why do you wear a helmet now?
Just to protect my noggin, because I have a very knowledgeable brain. you need to always do the ABC check.
The A is for air, and the B is brakes, and the C is for chain.
I thought it was just a bike giveaway, but now I realize it's much bigger than that. To have her to be a part of this group and see there's other kids that want to be safe and ride sensibly and to make it fun, I really appreciate that, because for her, she was able to accept it and do it.
My old bike was like, every time I rode it, it would like sound like it's about to break down. I run into a lot of trees with that one, but I'm pretty sure with this one, it's gonna be better.
I just got a new bike and I have a bike, but my inner tube got popped and we tried to pump it up, but the air comes out. And so I'm just happy I got a bike.
Encouraging responsibility in young people keeps Dee Dee optimistic, despite what she has seen over the years.
Every time you look at the TV screen, a child's being shot. I've been here for 25 years. I have probably 17 kids that went down. And sometimes it's hard to sleep like that. But when I have summer camp, it builds my morale back up. It shows me that there's so many more kids that want to do a lot more good things in life.
For them, it's showing them that their work and their dedication to completing the program paid off, that it wasn't for nothing, that people noticed their work.
Well, our kids are glad that they do good things and they are being rewarded for them, that they sometimes seems that they're overlooked because they're not doing anything bad, and nobody treasures a child that does good, but I do.
62 years ago, one bike changed the history of the world. On a rainy Saturday in 2016, and 100 bikes later, the future has never looked brighter.
When boxing champ and humanitarian Muhammad Ali passed away in June, donations poured into the Ali Center. And now the center's looking to build on that momentum, to keep Ali's legacy alive for many years to come. They've launched a $10 million fundraising effort to increase educational opportunities, build staff, and even expand the center. If you'd like to support the cause, go to alicenter.org/give. And here's more about a new upgrade that might help launch some local athletes down an Olympic path.
My name is Josh Mattingly. I'm one of the locals here. Been racing for about 1.5 years.
Derby City BMX has a long history and has always been known as one of the best BMX facilities anywhere in the world. And we had a great challenge from the great friends at the Louisville Sports Commission and the Louisville CVB, and the question was asked, how do we ensure that Derby City BMX in this event stays here year after year? And our challenge back to them was, we need some upgrades. We need to make this venue even better than what it's always been. So we literally constructed what is now one of the top 5 BMX tracks anywhere in the world, and it's right here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready?
This track's on a whole new level now. Everything's bigger, the jumps are a lot bigger, the turns are a lot bigger, the speed is a lot higher. It's definitely a far more technical track, but it's a good track to train on because it's better to train on a harder track than an easier track.
Most importantly, it's here to service the children of Louisville.
It's a little hard and it's very fast.
It's pretty lippy, but overall it's a nice track. I like that they're putting money into it to make it a nice one.
The biggest thing of this track is the Supercross hill. That's completely changed the whole track. So it's a lot bigger jumps now. It's going to attract so many more racers, especially that this is such a legendary track. Now that they have a Supercross style track, it's like the Olympic vibe. It's come to Louisville for once.
For the girls that are wanting to advance in their career, it's better for us because now we get the chance to jump the Supercross hill, and it's a lot harder to get through. So you need to have a lot of skill.
It's mostly important about what happens here every weekend at Derby City BMX for the local racers and the citizens of Louisville, and that's what this facility is really all about.
Today, a national spotlight is being shined on Louisville, Kentucky, and 6 other winning communities across the country.
Louisville's commitment to health equity, violence prevention, and using art to improve health outcomes have paid off. The city recently earned a $25,000 Robert Wood Johnson Prize.
We are certainly winners in this community, and we should celebrate. But they asked me to remind us to keep that celebration in context and to really talk about why health matters to individuals and families and why we're really focusing here on health equity. We have to be reminded of the social and economic barriers that really are real in our community and across the country.
Our commitment to collective impact is working. It's being championed by the Urban League, Kentucky One Health, Humana, Community Foundation, and many others, and it's resulted in Louisville having some of the most unique public-private partnerships in the nation.
Louisville is one of just 7 winners from the nearly 200 that applied for the Culture of Health Prize. The St. Louis area, Miami-Dade County, and Santa Monica, California also received grants.
Every 5 days in Kentucky, an unsafe sleeping environment leads to the death of an infant. That's more than 70 babies a year.
Once you get home, get them out of the car seat.
Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher and officials from multiple organizations came together with one major goal: to make sure all children start life equally.
We want every woman in Louisville to have, obviously, a safe pregnancy, and every baby or boy, girl to have the greatest chances to flourish like any kid. Each and every kid, when they're born, should have the same opportunities to reach their full human potential.
Healthy Babies Louisville is a partnership of 13 health and social service institutions that aims to not just lower infant mortality rates, but change the statistics, to reduce the gap in infant mortality between black and white babies, reduce smoking among pregnant women, and decrease teen pregnancies.
For me, it really hit home when in July of 2015, I went to the funeral service of my little cousin, Charles Williams Jr., who at that time was only 4 months old, and he was deceased as a result of SIDS.
Something to keep in mind: your ABCs of safe sleeping babies. Infants should be put to sleep A, alone, B, on their backs, and C, in a crib. To get access to prenatal and perinatal services, call the Metro United Way call center at 211.
The $50 million Dixie Highway redo is officially underway. It's the first major construction project of the Move Louisville initiative, which aims to encourage safety for commuters of all kinds through safer sidewalks, road surfaces, and crosswalks.
$50 million in transportation improvements to fuel the private investment that's already under the way along Dixie Highway. These hard-earned dollars, and we had to compete for them, came about as a partnership because of the federal, state, and local sources, and they're helping us transform this economic corridor and create a new Dixie Highway to serve the people who count on it every day on one of our most.
The Bourbon Trail has a new starting point. Mint Julep Tours, a company that offers guided distillery tours, relocated its headquarters from New Lou to Melwood Avenue.
At Mint Julep Tours, our mission is the purpose of fun is to have some. And today we're going to have some. It's kind of nice to be in a place that we can consider home, not only for now, but for the long term.
The owners invested more than $1 million in the 13,000 square foot space, adding a large garage for their fleet of tour buses.
As this takes off in our community, we need some great entrepreneurs to help us figure out where this is going to go. And it was important that we have somebody that can welcome people when they come to our town and treat them the right way. And I just knew that you guys would always do it in a 5-star way. And to see that come to fruition here in this space is the next step in the journey.
Mint Julep Tours has 11 full-time and 27 part-time employees.
There was vandalism, there was a lot of graffiti, the pavers were being stolen, it was bad.
Over the years, vandalism, trash, and weather damage have taken a toll on a Louisville favorite.
Things happened up here that shouldn't have happened. People used it as a dump. If anybody was up here in the last 20 years or so, you saw it just wasn't really what a park should be.
And now, after months of preparation and extensive volunteer work and a $1.4 million investment, the Iroquois Park North Overlook is officially open to the public. Take a look.
How are you?
Dozens of visitors hike the trail to the Overlook for the official ribbon cutting ceremony. Mayor Fisher calls it Louisville's Yellowstone.
Well, if you're like me, and you must be because you're here, you have been waiting for this opening for quite some time. And I've got to say, Mimi, as I was meandering down the path here, and when you walk out and the spectacular view that we all love is here, I mean, it's a wow. This is really a 10.
From the new Overlook, you're able to see the skyline, Churchill Downs, and the airport. Neat features like smart cameras and a water diversion make this view safer and more accessible to visitors.
And doing a project like this isn't just about what Olmsted Parks Conservancy wants or Metro Parks, it's a public park. So we want to make sure that people come out and enjoy it, understand why we did certain things.
Anyone is welcome to come enjoy the park and its beautiful scenery. For safety reasons, the Overlook is open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.
Metro TV, a public service of Louisville Metro government.